Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Fatback 4 Daily for this Friday night. The Reds are back, thank God for that, and they play away to Norwich at Carrow Road tomorrow evening. Listen, what's coming up on the show tonight? Well, we're going to obviously look at Liverpool versus Norwich. We're going to have a little look at all the other fixtures that are happening between now and Monday in the Premier League. We might touch on our trip to Atletico Madrid briefly. And listen, anything else random that comes in. This show was brought to you by Paddy Power, a bookies, a website and an app. If you gamble, please gamble responsibly and try to do so with Paddy Power. Oh, yeah, we're not gonna go without talking about UEFA having a nice little go at Man City. Here we go. And here we go. The Fatback 480, we're back, and Liverpool are back, and Man City are in serious trouble, and the rest of the Premier League are playing some games this weekend that we will get involved in as we go through the show. Random questions are a must tonight. Get them in early. We will go in and out of them as we go through these fixtures for the weekend to come. With me is Chris Brack, and Chris, first things first, good to have the Reds back tomorrow.
Oh, finally, yeah. Bit boring about the football at the moment.
It just seems like it's forever.
I know, it's the longest 2 weeks ever.
Yeah, it really is a long 2 weeks. But it's good to have it back. We're looking at the squad coming up now, playing tomorrow, and I think it's Barcline and Shaqiri. We have a fully fit squad to pick from. Everyone looks fit. Everyone looks healthy. Mane looks like he's back. It's going good. The only threat to tomorrow is probably the weather. How worried are you about that? Because, they're talking about this coming at 80, 90 mile an hour winds tomorrow, and when you see what City was called off quite rightly last week against West Ham, is this game in danger?
Possibly, but then again, was it Storm Dennis?
Storm Dennis, yeah. The names to be terrible, don't they?
Yeah, well, those blokes are like, we promise a lot, we deliver very little, so it'll probably just blow over and no one will notice.
I don't know. The weather forecast. Can anybody tell me if the weather forecast is good, bad, or indifferent for they're in East Anglia, aren't they? Come tomorrow at around 5:30 kick-off. So if anybody knows the weather forecasters into that sort of stuff, come along and let me know. Good evening, says Chris Prosser. Well, he says it in a slightly different way, but that's the gist. Let me see. Kevin Sullivan's on board. Barry Carr is in the house. Avo is here. Let me see. The Windy app has wind speed in the mid 50 kilometres per hour for Norfolk, which is about 30 miles an hour, which is, you get a game of football in, won't you?
Yeah, it's cold like.
Yeah, it's cold, but you get a game in.
Yeah, it'll be all right.
Yeah.
They'll be fine, hopefully.
Okay, cool.
I'm not sure I could go with 3 weeks of no football.
No, I really want us to go ahead. Although people will tell you that wind will be a massive leveller. Look, there's loads of comments coming in here about Man City as well. The money cheaters got their comeuppance. This ban better not be downgraded. It was systematic cheating, says Jono. Jono, hold fire. We will get into that later on. In a little bit of depth, I think we'll have a good chat about that. But look, if you're on Twitter, share this onto your what's that thing called? The timeline. And if you're on YouTube, please watch, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and as soon as we go live, you get, you know we're live. And on top of that, hit the like button. It's very important. Anybody that's watching on YouTube, just hit that like button while you're watching. That's important too. But look, going into it with a full squad, Chris, I usually do this again, but I want you to pick me a team from the very start. I want you to pick me a team. Take the weather into consideration. Take the break into consideration. I want you to pick me a team straight off, because then we can have a little argument about it.
Champions League 11, with the one exception being Gomez in for Matip.
Okay.
Go balls out. Go strong. They've had 2 weeks off, and generally with us, it is a thing. I know some disagree, but it is a thing that generally when we've had more than a week off, it takes us a little bit of time to get back in the flow of things. So to be honest, I'd rather get the cobwebs blown out in that game, quite literally, probably the weather. So but then we're all fired and ready for Athletic. And then once we've got Madrid out of the way, there's quite a nice gap then between that and the Bournemouth game.
Okay, all right. So you're going, I'd agree with you. I'm a little bit. I'm not too sure on Mane, and I'll tell
Yeah,
you
I mean,
why. The pictures of Mane training fully and flying around the place, was it Monday or Tuesday this week? They
yeah.
materialised. Is that not a bit of a short amount of time to throw him in, especially with this Atletico game coming up early next week?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, that'd be the only question. But if he doesn't get any, if he can't get any minutes against Norwich, there is that element of, well, he's not then played for like nearly a month, and then do you really want to throw him against Madrid on nothing? So I mean, maybe you bench Mane and give him the last half hour.
Okay.
Which then knowing KLOPP, which you'll hate, he'll probably put Chamberlain left wing.
Barry Carr wants to start Origi. I had Minamino in my head, to be honest with you. I think the midfield will be Fabinho, Wijnaldum, Henderson. I definitely think it will be. But up front, I had a feeling on Minamino. Origi, not too sure. Barry Carr feels that Mane will start away at Atletico, and North agrees with him. But going into this, let's say we have the team I feel or the team you feel, it's fairly strong. There's probably one change here or there, and it's usually around Mane or Minamino or Origi or whoever starts. Going into this game, you mentioned there a few minutes ago, the break. Does that concern you? Now, listen, it's probably a bit of a ridiculous question when you consider we've played, is it 25 league games and won 24, and we've had a couple of breaks in the meantime. But in the back of your head, do you still think coming back from a break, getting back into a rhythm, could we be caught a bit cold? Or is it just, no, this is Norwich, we'll go out, we'll do our thing, and if we do 60, 70, 75%, we'll be absolutely fine?
I still think we'll go out and do our thing. I just think Norwich are a funny side in the sense that, yes, they are bottom of the league and they are bottom of the league by some distance, but they're not a typical bottom of the league side. They're not crap. As in, they do give everyone a bit of a game. It's just eventually they always wilt. I mean, if you gave me a choice for your first game back after a break, I'd rather play Bournemouth, who would just roll out the red carpet for you and lie down.
And usually do for us, in fairness.
Yeah,
that's a fair point.
Whereas Norwich, they are going to scrap, they are going to fight, they are going to make life a little bit difficult for us. And my only concern is we do tend to be a bit slow at traps. Normally first halves, and then we kick ourselves into gear. But I'm still pretty relaxed. I'm convinced we'll win. I've seen some people talk about, it'll be 3-4. I don't think it'll be anything like that. It'd probably I'm thinking like a battling 2-0 where you get out. Which, to be honest, a battling 2-0 might do some good when you're going to play Atletico Madrid. They're not the side they were, but they're still Atletico Madrid. They know how to defend. They know how to make life difficult for you. So it could actually, in a way, be quite a good test for us just to get the cobwebs out.
Yeah. I'm not too concerned. I think the form we've shown this season, I think the fact that we showed our intention when we had that FA Cup game, he said, no, the players have a week off. It wasn't like they did a week off and they were coming back on Wednesday and we're playing Saturday. They did a week off and they were back in on Monday morning. They've had 5 days, and all the talk coming out in the lead up to this break is that KLOPP wanted to do more or less, 5-6 day, basically mini pre-season again. He wants them right at it because he's obviously looking at league games that we're going to need to win to secure the title, and on top of that, he wants to get into a groove. He wants to get into a rhythm for the Champions League, which is going to take a massive step up in importance now over the next couple of weeks, starting next week, I suppose. But I'm not too worried. When I look at Norwich, I like them. I have to say that I do like them. I like the way they try play. I like the bravery they have on the ball, but ultimately they are quite good going forward, but they are so open at the back. I think that midfielders do their best, but they're such a stretch side at times that they can get themselves into trouble. I watched them. Would it be in Stevens' day when they played Spurs at home? In around Christmas time, anyway. Yeah. Might be New Year's Day. It was in one of all them days roll into one for me when around Christmas. But I watched them and they were really good. Spurs weren't great, but Spurs had chances. And when the game stretched in any way, Spurs looked like they could get in on goal time after time after time. So I'm not too worried over them. Would I like to see them stay up? Probably. Will they? Probably not. But I do like the way they do things. But I just think Liverpool going there tomorrow, I think they'll have too much of them. I think it's one of those where, like I said, you show up at 75, 80%, or even a little bit below that, and I think, like you said, it won't be 3 or 4, but a 2-0. You know, the kind of way you walk away with your 2-0 and you're back on the horse, as they say, you know that way, and you're looking at Atletico, and then you're looking at your next league game, which I can't even remember at this stage because I've switched off a little bit from football. Although I was obsessed with football fixtures going back about 2 weeks ago, I've nearly switched off from them now. There's loads of comments coming back in. Lubac says he'd have Ox and Hendo coming on at 70 minutes, so he's coming with a slightly different team to yours. Not Red would love to get City in the Champions League. Dylan says Allison's hair will still be immaculate in 150-kilometre winds or whatever it is. Yeah, he's unbelievable. He will have a slick back though. If he goes for that kind of haggard look, it could be all over the place. Let me see. Sneaky bid for Kevin De Bruyne in the summer as Chris Prosser. I think we're getting a little bit of ahead of ourselves there on that one. Max Aarons looks decent. He's the right back, I think, for Norwich. Am I right?
I like the other guy. Is it Jamal Lewis, the left back?
You like the left back, I like the right back. Watched them both at Anfield earlier on, first day of the season, and left back got a bit of a third time from Salah because he didn't know whether to go with Salah or not go with Salah, and then he got caught. The right back looked quite good though. But yeah, both quite highly rated. Let me see. Matt wants to talk about Tony Evans. I don't. Matt says Klopp's a spoofer. Yeah, I know where Matt's going with that. But look, we go into this in ridiculous form. There's no hope that Norwich going and beating us tomorrow, is there?
It's gonna be if they beat us, it's gonna be one of two things. It's either gonna be we're really off the boil. Mm-hmm. I mean, really off the boil, or it's gonna be one of those like mad Sunderland away moments, do you remember with the beach ball?
Yeah,
it's going to be something like the wind's so bad that actually it blows the ball the wrong way in a corner that we're not expecting. It's going to be something like that. But you know what? I mean, people like hearing this. We drop points. You know, when you got a 22-point lead, you really can't be fretting too much.
But the bottom of the league, Chris.
Yeah, I know they are. You know, but I think I'm quite blasé now, which I probably shouldn't be. Which I know can come across as arrogant, but with a 22-point lead, it does give you a little bit of wiggle room for the odd blip if you have one. I mean, I don't expect one. I mean, you know, I still think you play this game 100 times. I still think Liverpool win it every time. I just think they do. You know, and we've now seemed to find a way of playing away from home. It just don't think it'll be pretty. I think we'll just do what we always do, which is just enough. Which seems to be our way this year, is just do enough to get the win, and don't expend your energy too much.
Well, you see, that's the thing, managing it. And, you know, there is games coming up, but like, you know, you have coming up in the next little while. You have obviously Norwich. I know Bournemouth is in there. Watford is in there. You know, obviously you have the Champions League stuff going on, but there is games there that you could feel you could manage and you could get yourself through on it, playing second, third gear football, and, you know, without dropping the intensity in the league. Results-wise, you could actually improve the intensity you have in the Champions League, and you could focus more on the Champions League while still doing more than enough in the Premier League to go and you know, because everyone's looking at this unbeaten thing, you know what I mean? Jono says, what's Chris smoking? Dropping points to the worst team is bad. I want to win the Premier League in record-breaking fashion now that we have the opportunity to do that. Jono's not backing down. Lubac reckons Norwich are better than the league position. Well, they probably play more attractive football than the league position suggests, but they're not better than the league position because they're bottom.
Well, they've got a Mirage in goal, haven't they? That's the big issue they've got.
You don't like him, do you?
He's shite. He's absolute bobbins. He is the sort of keeper we'd have signed under Rodgers. Right. You know, he's basically Samuel Neely. He'll do 2 or 3 like what I'll call like match of the day saves, and then he goes, "Oh, isn't he really good, Tim Krul?" And then he'll let one through his hands. Okay. I'm just not a fan, which is why he hasn't played for any big clubs. He's only got a bit of a reputation because of what he did in the World Cup, where because he saved penalties, which look, it's a specialism, it's really good, but you know, there's a bit more to goalkeeping than just being a penalty saver. You know, he generally can't catch a cold, so
yeah. Okay.
You know, if he was that good, he would be playing at Norwich.
Well, look, we know that we know where attacking prowess. We know where all our danger comes from. We know that they're quite open. You know, we do rate our fullbacks. I'm not too sure on their centre halves. You're not too sure on their keeper. I like their midfielders. They do work
Buendia
hard.
and Cantwell.
Yeah, Buendia is a really good player. I really like Cantwell. Really like him. But obviously Pukki is their main threat. But
the one thing about Norwich, they kind of everyone always says if you're going to stay up, you need a you need a consistent goal scorer, and they've got one, and they're still struggling, which is probably that's why it smacks in the face of what you need to stay up, because that's why Norwich are such a weird side, because they have got goal scorers, they have got threat. It just seems to be any shot on target, they seem to let it in.
Yeah, because I find that if they were a bit more compact and had those sort of players, they do all right, but they're just they want to be so brave on the ball. Dylan is having a breakdown in the chat because he missed the chat about crisps the other night. He says he's a particular fan of crisp sandwiches. I think he said buffalo flavour. He would love on them on a sandwich. So listen, when we get to the random stuff a little bit later, if you want to throw the crisps in again, we'll have another little chat, Dylan. I wouldn't like you to be upset. Let me see. Norwich have 18 points in apparently the worst Premier League season ever. It's a fair point from Jono. David Glennon says their two fullbacks were excellent at Anfield. Yes, I thought they were very good. I just thought the left back got a little bit caught in two minds at times, because Salah done his thing where he just stands up the pitch and goes, you make your mind up. If you want to go up that pitch, go ahead, but I'm going to absolutely slaughter you going the other way. Let me see.
I just think he might be a good. He could be. I know he's saying KLOPP doesn't like backups, but he could be the ideal backup to a Robertson, though. As in, he could be. Because Robson was accused of this, wasn't he? The whole he's great going forward, but God, anyone runs at him with a bit of pace, he's got no clue. And we found out he can do it. It took 3 months of KLOPP coaching him, but he's got it. And I also think someone like Jamal Lewis is in, if he ends up going from Norwich to Liverpool as Liverpool's backup left back, he isn't going to rock the boat for not getting muffed playing time. He'll take it in. But I do quite like the idea of having a natural left back who you can trust when you want to give Robbo a rotation or a break. To free Milner up, because I think Milner has shown, look, he's done all right at left back this year, but Milner's best games for us have generally been when we've thrown him back in midfield, because his experience is key in that middle. Okay,
and can I ask you, you've probably seen more of Jamal Lewis than I have. I've probably seen him, I'd say 3 or 4 times this season if they've been on TV or playing against us. But as that sort of player, you know, I don't know, he's technically quite good, big and strong. And you're saying it took KLOPP 3 months to do this for Andy Robertson. Does he look like the sort of player that could come in and mirror what Andy Robertson does? Because that's what you are looking for. That's how it's so hard to go and not replace Andy Robertson, but have a backup that's, you know, not a clone of him, but try to get him, you know, as close as.
What I've seen in it, his best instincts seem to be going forward, which was what Robertson's best instincts are going forward. So it's just whether, has he got that defensive brain in him? Look, that's for the club to find out, because what you don't know is you just don't want to know about Albi Moreno, who had all the attacking instinct in the world and forgot he was a left back. I don't think he's quite that extreme. So, but again, if we don't go for it, it's just who you pick for a left back to be a backup. Whereas I think, you know, Liverpool seems to be quite good at finding a bit of a hidden gem out of a relegated club. You know, we've had 3 or 4 of them at the moment where they've been relegated and we've managed to turn them into what you wouldn't expect.
Yeah. There's wedding preparation talk going on here from Barry Carr. He's hijacking.
Where's my invite?
I don't know where your invite is. He still hasn't, by the looks of it, sorted out a DJ. So we're still on for that. Roy Speaking is not a fan of these breaks at all. He said, can we just shunt all international football till the summer so we can have a winter break and nothing else? Fair point. What else did I want to say to you? Yeah, so look, it'll be a chance to, I suppose, watch these Norwich fullbacks and see, you know, Cantwell is the one that gets an awful lot of talk. Bendia is another one that I've seen linked with Liverpool, and I don't know how tenuous those links are, but you know, he has been linked. Not linked, but kind of he's being watched and stuff like that by Liverpool. I don't know how much that is. Dylan says his dad's a big Celtic fan and he's been to a couple of games. A huge fan of Nietzsche in the middle of the park. Yeah, he's not a bad player, but he's playing in Scotland. I would like to point that out. I know, but Van Dijk came and done it in England then. But I don't know. I haven't seen much of him in Europe. If he's been really good in Europe, yeah, so be it. Give me a prediction.
3-0.
3-0. Okay. I'm going to go with 3-1 Liverpool.
Your favourite scoreline?
I'm going to go with 3-1. I feel it come off one day. Barry Carr has a dagger to me and Andy's heart. He said, the band I've got does the DJ set too. You can come for the golf though. I'll have to talk to Andy. I think we've put an awful lot into this wedding to be turned around and told that the band are going to fucking be a DJ as well. Are they doing the ceremony as well? Are they the caterers? Are they a one man not this one man band sort of thing? Does he do everything?
It sounds like he's scrimping on his wedding there.
So do I. Let me see. Go get Kieran Tierney back up to Robert would be unreal. He hasn't. Where is he? He's at Arsenal. I haven't seen him.
He's got no shoulders.
Yeah,
he's injured every 2 months, isn't he?
Yeah, he and he did have for the last 6 months of his Celtic career, probably last year actually. He was quite injury prone. Nordred has us down for 3-0. Kevin Sullivan says Lewis is 22. Can't see him being cheap even for a relegated side. Yeah, but we have that lad that does all the transfer stuff, Michael Edwards, and he gets wherever he wants. And he'd probably end up getting us for he'd probably end up getting that fella for 4 million. And a player on top of that. He's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant at what he does. 5-0. And Alison to baptise these bastards, says Dylan. Barry Carr says, Gav, you could do a set once the venue shuts in a big fancy house. I'm going to speak to Andy. Me and Andy will make a group decision on this wedding, and going forward, we will let you know what's going on. I'm going to blame it all on you, though, Barry, and I'm going to say that your lovely wife-to-be, Melissa, had nothing to do with this. Megan McCallion says 3-0 to the Reds. Bobby and Salah to score anytime. Megan, you've reminded me of something there. We do have the free bet for tomorrow's game, but to keep everything together, instead of it being some being through YouTube, some being through Periscope, some being through email, some being... What we have is we have a Discord group. It's very, very simple. Go on to our Twitter timeline. You'll see it's our pinned tweet about Discord. You just hit the link, you go in and you join the group. If you're not on Discord, download the app, set up a profile, and then go into our Twitter and get it. We've loads of stuff there from this show, the club. We have Player of the Year talk, we general talk, we have the Paddy Power stuff, we have the last day of the season chat, who's going to Liverpool and who's not. And obviously in the Paddy Power, you can put in your bet. We'll obviously get a price done up on that for you, but the best ones will be picked for tomorrow's game and announced in Discord. So we're keeping it all together there. So if you have a bet, go onto Discord. It's very easy to get into, and there's loads of people. There's about 60 people in there at the moment. We only opened it 2 days ago, and there's loads of people in there. Just get in, have a chat, put in whatever you want. Just be nice, because the moderators in there just ban you if you start acting the maggot. But get in there and put your bets in, and we'll pick the best three. Also, what else did I have to say? Megan won a poster with us last week. That is on its way to you. I did promise you last week. I completely forgot about it, but it has been sent. I promise. Let me see. Nordred has handled the score, nailed on. Kevin Sullivan says, I have a theory that Brewster goes there as part of a deal on loan, as Pookie will get nabbed. Okay, keep an eye out for that. There's a little prediction from Kev. Dylan says, bit freak Barry. I had organised them people who stand still on Grattan Street all day as the entertainment. Oh yeah, okay. What they called flash mobs or something, isn't it? Barry says, Gav, you know what the story is. Melissa is the final word, so we're blaming all on her. Absolutely,
your marriage life's not gonna last long there.
I think he's been a bit of a shithouse there, but we'll see how it goes. Baby Keith to score and 4-0, says Roy Speakman. Roy, get into Discord and put that in, and it will be included. And We'll absolutely put it in there and see how we get on. Barry says, Gav is slow, but the prizes do reach you in the end, trust me. Yeah, it was just completely forgot about them. Do you know what happened? I had them out. I have 2 of them posters. I had them out, and then at the end of the, as I was tidying around, I put them back in a drawer, and then I took them out and went, shit, and I had to send them. So I went down to the post office today and I sent them. Well, I didn't. I sent someone down to the post office to send them. Pookie makes me sick, says Dave's LFC chats. No, play on words there from Dave, as always. Looking forward to a couple of games. Just want a couple of predictions on games for you, from you, Chris, over the weekend, right? So tomorrow, I just want predictions. Southampton versus Burnley. Burnley definitely needs something there. Southampton are okay, but give us a prediction on that one.
2-0 Southampton, Ings double.
Okay, I'm going to go with 2-0 myself. On Sunday, you have Villa Tottenham. Villa in bad needs of points, and Spurs still hoping to make top 4.
2-1 Spurs.
I'm going 2-2. Arsenal versus Newcastle.
2-1 Arsenal.
I'm going to go 3-1 Arsenal. And the last one of the weekend, or going into next week, Chelsea versus Man United. Massive game for both of them, with the way the top 4 is looking. Although 5th might get you Champions League if City thing stands up. But go on, give us a prediction on that one.
2-2.
I'm going to go with 1-1 in that one. Megan says, thanks a lot, Gav. No, absolutely no problem. Barry Carr says, I had a long L wait for my entire designs prize. Was that sent by me or was it sent by Jimmy himself? I'll have to work that out. But was it
Barry who's getting us the celebration, the
selection boxes?
Yeah.
No, that was Stephen Mack, I think.
The line get.
That was Stephen Mack. Lubac has Southampton down to win 2-1. Roy Speakman says Chelsea will beat United. Dylan says a 0-0 in the Arsenal game. Avo said, my head exploded when I tried to pick from a full strength squad. We're so strong in all departments. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not a bad shout at all. Lubac says Spurs 3-2. Barry Carr says top 5 is wide open because 5th is worth the pound now. Now you're going to believe me regarding Saints. Yeah, isn't it? There is a chance. Arsenal 1-1 says Lubac. Right.
I still think third's up for grabs at the moment.
Yeah, well, Leicester are faltering a little bit, and Chelsea, and then Spurs. And no one's mentioned Sheffield United and all that. So they're in as good a chance as anybody else because they've been consistent throughout the season. They haven't had many dips in form. They've lost one here, but they've got it back fairly quick. They haven't gone through a really bad spell. Norwich says the Champions League final 2021, Liverpool versus Sheffield United. Let me see. Barry Carr also has the Saints winning 8 out of the last 10 games. Jeez, that's a big claim. Listen, we're half an hour in, so I want to do a little bit on this. We have to. This Man City news tonight. So the news came out tonight that UEFA have banned Manchester City for 2 seasons, starting from 2020, from all European competitions, and have fined them €30 million, I think it was. First things first, City have released a statement and haven't really denied what's gone on, from what I can read of it, but want an impartial view on all this because they don't feel UEFA are being impartial, which is a little bit strange.
They feel it's predetermined because they're saying the guy who head investigates the guy, like you said a year ago before they even announced it, City will get a big ban if they've done wrong. So they may have a point. You probably shouldn't talk about it until you've actually investigated them, but it is quite funny.
But
I was surprised.
That's like me saying, I'll win the lotto if I pick the right numbers. It's a fairly standard, straightforward statement he's made there.
Yeah, it is. It's nitpicking. I was surprised that they've actually got a ban. I mean, look, if they're going to appeal it, I have no idea whether the court's operational hold it up or not hold it up. The part of me does think it's took UEFA quite a while to come up with this. Not come up with it, but decide on this, which makes me think they must have like gone through everything with a fine-tooth comb because it'd be embarrassing for UEFA, really damaging for them to go, we're going to ban you for 2 years, and then it gets turned over. So I don't know. I feel that it's possible like they may find a bit of a losing battle there, City. Okay,
David Glennon has asked, lads, who has the tambourine? That might be Chris's mic rubbing against him. I'm not too sure.
Oh, sorry, that could be Mike.
Okay,
so be Mike.
He'll stop it. Let him move his mic. He apologises wholeheartedly, David. Jesus.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's fine. I think there was just a bit of movement there, so that's perfectly fine. But it's taken 29 minutes for somebody to give out, so that's
not
right.
Too bad. I was practicing for Paddy's band.
Kev O'Sullivan says Cass will overturn this, and then FFP will be officially dead. A complete free for all happens.
I can see possibly the ban getting reduced, but they've already had the wrist slap, didn't they, a few years back?
Yes.
But they got a suspended sentence, so it's a little bit like there's no smoke without fire. So it would surprise if Paddy got reduced to a 1 year ban. But it'd be interesting because if it's 2 years, that's gonna have some detrimental effects to them, I think.
Yeah, Roy wants them all the trophies to be taken off them over the period, and don't give them to anyone. Makes City look dirty and makes the recipients of the tainted titles weak. We need to be better than that. I fully agree with that, Roy.
Oh yeah, I don't want to say like because I think one of the periods was 13-14. I don't want to say because of City this you get it. No.
I think
it happened on the pitch. That's it.
I think if it goes through a certain period, I think Liverpool could be in line to take 2 of them and United to take 1. But no, I'm not into that. I don't go in for all that. Dylan reckons City will take 7 from the next 9 points. City will tie this up in court for years, says Kev O'Sullivan. I don't know how long they can tie it up for.
Yeah, the interesting thing is, I don't know how City react to this. Does it galvanise? In other words, they make us work for it, and they use this as their last hurrah in Champions League. So it will be fairly City now for them to win it.
Yeah.
Because then they can't play it for 2 years. Or does it have the other effect, which you have seen this year? A bit of adversity this year. They've faltered quite badly.
Oh yeah, no. Listen, they have, but like just going on this ruling. Like you said, if they went and won the Champions League this year and then got told they're not playing it. Now I can't see them being out of next year's Champions League. I will put that out there now because the Court of Arbitration for Sport will have to make some sort of ruling on this, and that's not going to happen in the next couple of months, from what I can make out. All right, somebody might tell me I'm wrong, but from what I can make out, this will take a little while to get into the courts. It will take a little while probably to get the response, and then I don't know if you can appeal again. Okay, but against that, I don't see how they can hold it up for years. You know, that kind of way. Like I could see them holding this up to say, I don't know. Well, it's February now. They could hold this up till probably this time next year, right? Mm-hmm. So they get into next year's Champions League, and then they could appeal, and they could probably get it past. They could probably get 15, 16 months out of it, but then you're looking at, well, the league's over, and now we have to decide who the fuck's in it the year after. You know, that kind of way. So it's a bit of a strange one. But when all is said and done, listen, I don't think, and look, I'm not going to sit here and say if Liverpool got banned, I wouldn't be kind of a bit pissed off. But at the end of the day, if they're being found to do something wrong and it's being blatant, and it looks like it's being blatant, because listen, I don't care what anyone says, and the thing about this is that them people that run that club have a ridiculous amount of money, right? An endless amount of wealth, right? But at the end of the day, there's only so much you can put in, okay? You can put as much as you want into the infrastructure. You can build little stadiums. You can build roadways, fucking whatever you want, okay? But at the end of the day, there's only so much you can put in for the playing side, yeah? And sponsorship deals of 400 and 500 million quid for naming rights to a stadium, and 500 million quid for 10% of the brand that comes with Man City and the other clubs, they've for a 10% stake and all. It's quite clear what's going on. Do you know the kind of way? Like Etihad sponsored the stadium, Etihad sponsored our jerseys, two separate. You know, there's loads of bits and pieces. And listen,
isn't the one that some of the sponsorships is for the it's not like the Man City, not the Man City brand. What was it? They have a brand, don't they? Because it's like New York, the one in Australia, and then
yeah,
and it's like Puma does all three. So we'll sponsor you, say 100 million for all three. I don't know if that's the figure, and I think that's where the question has been: is the creative accounting of, well, how much money is City's, how much is the New York's club getting, and how much is this Australian club getting? Yeah, because I don't know how big FFP is in America and Australia. Yeah. I don't know if it's a thing. It might not be.
No, but you see, that's the thing. Like, they could be saying, we got 100 million sponsorship for this, and they probably didn't. They probably got 80 or 70, and the other two teams got 15 each. You know, that kind of way.
Yeah.
But when you can put it through like that, obviously there was talk of another company being set up for wages to go through and stuff like that. Something has gone wrong there, and it's not easy to work out something's gone wrong when you have somebody with that much wealth. Okay, and wants to get that much wealth in, because the only asset they have is that wealth. You know, they're not coming in with a proud history of running football clubs and love of football, and, you know, great characters that can approach managers and be really good to work with and stuff like that. The wealth is what they have, okay? But it can only go so far. And there's definitely something going on there. Like I'll say it now. I've seen people say, well, Man City are a super club. Man City are not a super club.
They're a rich club.
Man City are a rich club, okay? That have tarted themselves up to look like a super club. But when you strip all this, you know, if you let them invest the amount of money in the club that, say, a Liverpool do or a Spurs do or whatever, right, and take it away, they're not a super club, all right? If that's the case, Leeds United were a super club around the start of this century. Would you think Leeds United were a super club around the start of this century?
No, I think these aren't classed as super clubs because of the historics. Put it this way, if you took all the money, if we had City's money or United, I mean, United technically do have City's money. If you took all that away from United, I guarantee United still fill that stadium. They still get that stadium rocking. They still get people who want to go there just because the name's Man United, as we do. You probably don't get the elite, but you still get a lot of very good players. You know, they've just recently got... Look, United are diabolical at the moment, but they still get players like Bruno Fernandes who'll rock up with them. I think if he took all the money out of City, I don't know. Maybe not. But maybe for them to become a super club, they thought this is the way of fast-tracking it.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is, like Jono says there, Puma gave them 65 million a season. This is all about the Etihad deals. It all does come down to the Etihad deals. Because basically making out that they were getting all this money and it just didn't add up. You know, Soy Law says, Pep go in the summer, and I think players might think twice to join them with no Champions League. See, this is a massive thing. Like, how big could this be for City? So, say we take this at face value, right? And...
Well, if we take your theory that they'll be in Champions League next year, will they? And there'll be a lot of players going, well, they might be, but they might. This might get sorted in the summer. So then people have got do I want to come here for 3 years because I might only get 1 year's Champions League and then I've got 2 years. I've got 2 years without it. You know, I'm in the prime of my career. You know, I mean, look, money talks. There are a lot of players that, you know what, if they're going to get paid 300 grand a week. You know, they'll suck it up. Quite a lot of players will. But there will be certain players that'll go, I don't want that.
There's loads of questions coming in here. They're interesting. Like Avo says, if UEFA found them guilty of something, then surely the Premier League and the FA must be looking at them too. Well, they would have to follow suit. You see,
the Telegraph had talked about that today, saying City are now facing the prospect of a points deduction for this season.
Which I find a bit strange.
Yeah, I think that... Well, how can I put this? Well, the Premier League, the FA, the weak, the cowards. So what they'll do is, if they can get away with doing the points deduction this year, when pretty much the titles, it doesn't really affect the title race, because it doesn't, realistically, then they can just go, well, look, we gave them a 10-point points deduction.
Yeah, but 10 points is going to do nothing to them.
Exactly. So, but whereas if you give them a 10-point points deduction at the beginning of next season,
yes,
you're already looking at City going, well, if you want to get to 100 points, you know, you've now got to go perfect, pretty much.
Yeah,
that's harder because
it also
puts pressure on that.
A deduction would mean something to other clubs around them on the first day of the season, rather than going, oh well, they got 88 and now they got 78. They still made the Champions League. All right, they might not be in it, but they might be. You know what I mean? But if we take all this, like, there's loads coming in here. Barry Carr says Pep goes to PSG. Tuchel probably in some sort of stocks to be whipped by Gav Doyle. Can't stand him. I absolutely can't stand that fucking man. I hope he never comes to England, because I'd have to look at him a lot more than I do now.
I've heard he's our new assistant.
Fuck off, you. Jono says, in 2012, Madison Square Garden, an iconic venue, got 187 million for naming rights, which was the highest deal. Yet somehow City got 400 million deal for the Etihad. That's dodgy. There you go. Like, you know what I mean? It's mad. Like, Kevin Sullivan says, Sané to Bayern is likely. Aguero aging, Silva gone, Sterling looking for the door. Is Sterling looking for the door? I haven't heard too much about Sterling looking for the door.
There was a rumour last summer, wasn't that? He'd sort of hinted he'd quite like to try. He'd like to one day try out in Spain.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be fair, the thing is, though, if City do lose some of these players, I very much doubt you can lose anyone to English clubs. You know, I could see a Sterling possibly going to a Real Madrid or a Barcelona, not because of a City thing. I think maybe he just wants to try something new. And I always thought maybe City would do a bit of a rebuild. Yeah. Maybe try something a bit different. You know, which is something both Klopp and Guardiola have never been able to do, is build their second team. Yeah. So,
well, Klopp's going to have to now.
Yeah, I'm quite interested to see how he does one, because the only manager I ever see who could rebuild a team from a winning position was Fergie, and obviously many clubs do it. So I was quite looking forward to this next coming year, thinking, wow, what are they going to do? How are they going to do it? How are they going to change?
Yeah.
Whereas now I've no idea. This does throw the cat amongst the pigs of what they're going to do.
Yeah,
it's going to make it even more interesting next year, though.
Like Kevin Sullivan's there saying Juventus were relegated 2 divisions for bribery. I think he said Swindon were mentioned there as well. They lost three. Didn't they lose 3 or 4 league titles as well? Yeah, they had a couple. No, I think one was taken off and not given to anyone, and one was taken and given to Inter Milan. People are saying there, no way on a points deduction this season. It must start from next year, because, you know, it's next season, and they should start on minus points. And there was another comment in there with regards to points deductions. Kind of Saracens from the rugby type thing where relegation.
Oh yeah, they got relegated. Didn't they? That was for what was that for? Salary.
Salary.
Caps,
Yeah. Just overpaying people.
Yeah, similar thing.
Let me see. David Glennon reckons Pep is 100% going to Juve. Should we try get Sterling back? Says not red. I'd have him back tomorrow.
I would.
So would I. Absolutely. Owen Neil says if this stays, it gives Pep the way out of City. I think the way out is well forged for him already.
You do wonder if maybe City knew this was coming out, but maybe he knew it was coming, so maybe he's always kept that in his back pocket.
Maybe so, but I think Pep Guardiola doesn't like it being put up to him, and he had it put up to him when he was at Bayern Munich in Champions League wise, and he's had it put up to him now in England, both Champions League wise and Premier League wise, because he finished fourth in his fourth season. Alright, he got 100 points in a second. He then wins it last year, but Liverpool put it to him, and then Liverpool are just putting him to the sword, and I don't think he likes it, and that's being honest with you. Let me see.
Bit of breaking news, not City related. Andre Gomez apparently is going to play in his friendly for Everton on Sunday.
Jeez, that's great news.
That's quite a quick.
That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous recovery as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Glad he's glad he's made a recovery for it, because it's a horror injury for him.
Horrible injury. Let me see. Lubac says Guardiola has spent big money on average players like Mahrez, Rodri, Mendy, Bravo. Yeah, fair enough. If City players jump ship at the end of the year, Pep will need to completely rebuild that next team. He's never done that. He'll leave. I agree with you. I think the fact that he's looking at Liverpool now going, this isn't a flash in the pan. These are that good. Because we watched them last season do it. We're watching them go an even step forward this season. And even if Liverpool finish on 106 points, right, and you take 10% off that, so it's about 106, about 11 points, right, you're still looking at Liverpool coming in around the 95 mark. And that will win you a title 9 times out of 10. Probably 8 times out of 10 now, because of the way we've been going the last couple of seasons. But they might get Pochettino, says Leo back. Listen, I don't know, but taking things at face value, and say for argument's sake, this gets rushed through and they are banned from 2 seasons, I think is massive for Manchester City in the whole future. And I'm not talking short, medium, I'm talking long-term future. I think it's absolutely massive for Man City, because
it's a PR nightmare, isn't it? For
well, you're looking at it going, like, we've won a league title, we've won League Cups, we've won FA Cups, we haven't won the Champions League, and now we're not even fucking in the thing. And then you've players there that are going, well, I want to play in the Champions League. Or maybe, I don't know how old Kevin De Bruyne is, but
27, I think he is.
Is he around that? Okay, Raheem Sterling is 24, 25, coming into his peak. You have, say, Aguero that's looking for the Champions League before he probably goes back to Argentina to play football. You have Laporte that moved there to do that. You have the likes of Kyle Walker. Name all these players, and they're going
Edison.
Yeah, 2 years hanging around here, probably struggling to get a Premier League title because Liverpool are that good. Playing, and if we're not winning the Premier League title, what are we playing for? Because even if we come second, third, or fourth, nothing happens.
Yeah, I mean, there is always the alternative universe that it galvanises them in a very horrible way for us, that kicks them on.
It could kick them on, and they could say, no European football. We don't have to. We don't have to worry about rotation and stuff like that. We can just go hell for leather in the league. But having said that, people would still turn around and say, oh, yeah, but you'd know for European football. Like, they'd be put down by it, regardless of the situation. And on top of that, the biggest thing for me is them owners will turn around and go, well, this isn't working. We didn't get away with what we were doing. We didn't achieve our goals when we tried to get away with this. How are we going to achieve our goals when we're not allowed to? And they could literally throw the toys out of the pram and walk away.
I think it's more likely, my opinion is, it's more like that if the ban does get upheld, which I think some sort of ban will get upheld, is City will just get it through the courts, in the sense that eventually they'll just be threatening to sue UEFA, and it will surprise eventually if they got some money out of this. Because it'll be more of an honour thing of, like, we don't want to be... If rich people don't like being told what to do, and they'll find a way of getting their own way. And that's probably what all we'll hear for the next 10 years is City in court over an unfair ban. So they may not get the ban overturned, but they'll just kick up a royal stink over it. Which, maybe it was other clubs. Other clubs will probably do the same as well.
Oh, listen, no club is not going to lie down and take it. They're going to stand up for themselves. But this is, like you said earlier, this has been in the pipeline a little while. They got their hands slapped already, and and this is not that it's building up to it and they've been waiting to get them, but it's caught up with them. That's the best way I can put it. Dylan reckons they might get a pain in their bollocks the bit the way that Abramovich has. Yeah, Abramovich I think is in Israel or something. He's not allowed into England. Let me see. Rodney Marsh, the former City player, said Mansour might sell because of this talk. He's a crybaby, said Jono. If the owners...
Rodney Marsh is Rodney Marsh, don't he?
Yeah, he is. If the owners walks, he will go bankrupt. If you have any random questions, absolutely throw them in there. We've about 15 minutes to go. I'm not going further than 11 o'clock tonight. I'm not feeling great. I want to sit down. I have a 5-week-old child, and my God, the sleep deprivation is just getting to me now.
You doing this standing up then?
I'm literally, I swear to God, I'm not good.
I forgot what that was like.
No, it's not. Like a couple of bad days we've had, and it's catching up with me now. Avo the Third says, here we go, random questions. I want to get people's views as well on something in a minute, which was brilliant earlier on, but I'll get on to it now in a minute. Random question, Gav. What's your favourite toast topping? He is on cheese on toast with poached egg. What do you like on toast?
Cheese and toast, and I used to years ago have cheese toast and put Worcester sauce on it.
Not bad. Yeah,
gives a bit of a weird kick, but it's quite nice.
Can I have beans on toast? Is that counted as a?
You do it as a toasty, can't you? Probably not. But yeah, beans on toast. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause that's what my wife always has: cheese and bean toasty.
Okay. Yeah, I think beans on toast you get away with. I just do like butter, but once it's buttered, immediately after coming out of the toaster. I really like that. Let me see. Who'd win a fight between a dog and a monkey? A fucking monkey all day long. A monkey slaughters a dog. No problem.
Yeah.
Barry Carr says, Gav, I don't know if it's the Kinniger, which is the drink he's on, but he's wet for the tweet tomorrow. Count them. Oh, this is if we win. We're down to 5 wins, is it? Have I got us down to 5 wins?
Oh yeah. Have you heard the latest stat that came out? If City's ban is upheld and Liverpool win tomorrow, Champions League guaranteed in February.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? It's brilliant. There's loads of questions coming there. Oh yeah, somebody says, what's your favourite McDonald's order? And Barry Carr followed up with a McChicken Legend. I think it's just called the Chicken Legend. But anyway, it might be up the north. It might be McChicken. I don't know. Spicy mayo chips, Coke Zero, and 6 nuggets. Coke Zero is disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Mine would be at the moment the Grand Big Mac, I think it's called. It's a big Mac. Yeah. One of them with Coke and probably throw 6 nuggets in. What's yours, Chris?
Mine's the quarter pounder with vanilla milkshake, and sometimes I always put one of the Savour burgers as well.
Okay. Quick one for you from Roy. Colombo or Ironside?
Don't watch either of them.
Do you not? Colombo is great.
I'll probably go with Colombo because I know who he is. I
love the way I love the way he smoked and then let people think he didn't know what the fuck was going on, and then came back and went, "Oh, can I just ask you a question?" I did like a touch of Frost, and I did like Morse as well. So there you go. Ian Nolan says, "Gav, what does the girlfriend think of you doing a podcast on Valentine's Day?" It's the wife, and she doesn't care. She's not a big thing on Valentine's Day, and the 5-week-old has all her attention.
So my what time's the podcast? When 10 o'clock, I'll be in bed.
Yeah,
so that's married life. He's like, oh no, I'm going better than work.
David Glennon says the toast in the Coombe won't be beaten. The Coombe being the hospital that all the women go to have their babies. Lubac says cheese and spring onion and basil plus tomato grilled. Jesus, that's posh.
Sounds nice though.
Yeah, it does sound nice, but very posh.
We're going on.
Yeah, not red. You're hanging over a mountain. You have to get that back up for me. Not red. It's gone out my screen, but you have to get that back up for me. It was really good. Neil wants to know ant or deck.
The little one.
Yeah, I think that's deck. Yeah, same.
Go with deck.
Same.
Yeah, go with that one.
Yeah. When your man needs a few quid, he tends to be depressed all the time, doesn't he? The other fella. Maybe that's a horrible thing to say, but I just
don't get it.
It just annoys me. You know,
don't get a cow.
There's loads of fucking people depressed, and you know they should go out and get there and get help, and by all means go and seek the help you need. And the best thing to do is talk when you're depressed. And I know that from people. I've never been depressed myself, but people I know that have been depressed and have come to talk to me about things. I'm not very good because I'm a bit like Chandler from Friends. I use humour as a defence mechanism, so it's not really good when you try be, I don't know, serious with me. But I try my best. But when I see the likes of this fella, and I don't know. It just does me head in. But Deck's the answer. Mac rib meal with strawberry shakes, says Kev O'Sullivan.
Oh my
Lewback
God.
says Colombo. Roy Speakman says the Grand Big Mac is back in. Barry oh yeah, it is. It's back in. It's definitely back in. It's lovely. Till the end of March, says Roy. I have a feeling Roy is some sort of he does promotions for McDonald's. Can't wait to hear oh yeah, here we go, Jono.
Statman Gav.
Can't wait to hear Statman Gaz, the City fan on BBC Live, telling us how Liverpool behind of all this. Yeah, I'd love to know his stats on City and what they're spending. Opinion on following: Peaky Blinders, Stranger Things. Peaky Blinders is brilliant. Stranger Things I've never watched. Now, let me see.
Not seen either.
You're hanging off the side of a mountain, says Not Red. Your granny's in your right hand, and Mane is in your left. Which one do you let go?
Your granny.
You let your granny go?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, no problem.
That's me being a little hell in it.
Okay. Dylan wants an opinion on pineapple on pizza.
No.
No for me.
No, I mean, be honest. I wanted Trent. I was tempted to say Trent should get transfer requested because he says he likes pineapple on the pizza, which is just wrong.
Yeah, it is completely wrong. Rustler's Burgers, says Dylan.
Shit. Oh, absolutely vile.
Yeah. Don't mind them. If I'm really stuck, don't mind them.
Not a fan.
Coffee.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Never drink it. Never ever drink it. Brady Carr says anyone.
What do you think he's going?
Okay. Brady Carr says anyone, all of us. The General Lee from the Dukes of Hazzard or Kit from Knight Rider?
Kit from Knight Rider.
It has to be the General Lee for me. Has to be. Someone mentions the paper straws in McDonald's. Yeah. They've ruined milkshakes. Yeah,
that's the one thing. It's a struggle with milkshake. They just disappear.
Yep, they've absolutely ruined it. And Roy, I know you're working for McDonald's, so if you want to get onto them and just get the fucking plastic straw back. Everything else is plastic. Why do we have to have a paper straw? You know, the top you put on the milkshake is plastic. Do you know what I mean? Don't know why you need a paper straw. Let me see. Sopranos or Breaking Bad, says Leo back. Sopranos, without a shadow of a doubt. Sopranos, The Wire, and then Breaking Bad, probably in that order for me.
I think I'm like the reverse you at the moment. You don't ever watch films. I don't seem to watch any of these popular TV shows.
I have to say, Sopranos is the best television I've ever watched. The Wire is up there with it, and Breaking Bad is just below it. They're three of the best. Just on Breaking Bad, though, Better Call Saul comes back on the 24th or 25th of February. It's back for Series 5, I think, and that's really good as well. It's the prequel, obviously, to Breaking Bad. Barry Carr says, I let Sadio go. My granny is class. And I signed Dnepro from Saints. Barry is obsessed with Southampton at the minute. Absolutely obsessed.
It's Michael Edwards, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Let me see. You'd want a 6-week rehab after a Rustler's Burger. Listen, I've had them on bad days. Dylan asks, some butter on rich tea biscuits. Not for me. On digestive biscuits, yeah, but not on rich tea. Megan McCallion asks, best TV series you've ever watched? Mine is True Detective Season 1 and Band of Brothers. Chris?
Best TV series I've ever watched. I do like, I can still watch them, Life on Mars.
Okay, never watched it. I genuinely think The Sopranos is just out on its own. It really is. Dexter is worth to go to Kev O'Sullivan. I watched
that's a good show.
I watched a little bit of it and then I kind of got a bit pissed off for it. Roy Speakman says the Zinger Tower meal is mental. That's KFC, isn't it?
Yeah, it makes me ill. That.
Yeah, I don't mind KFC. Avo says cheese and pineapple on a cocktail stick, or the cheese and hot dog on a buffet hedgehog. What do you go for? Well, pineapple. If it's pineapple, I'll go for the other thing. I don't really.
The best one is cheese, hot dog, and onion in the hedgehog thing. That's the best one.
Okay.
Proper retro food, that.
I'll go with that. I don't know what it is, but I'll go with it because the other option is pineapple. Barry Carr says Back to the Future Part 2, brilliant film. Only watched it last week. I sat down with my daughter and watched all three, and she loved them. She did love them.
They are great.
Yeah, they were good. Alan says I'd let my granny go. Not a hope she'd be able to win the Premier League's Golden Boot. Fair enough. Barry Carr likes Prison Break. Dylan says enjoyed White Collar. Surprisingly, I watched. I'm watching that White House Farm.
Yeah, I've watched all 6 of them.
I haven't watched it. I've watched the fourth one. I know it's a true story. I can probably just Google what happened, but I haven't watched it. My initial thoughts is that the brother done it, but I could be wrong. That's only
It's well acted. It's really good.
Okay. Gav, if you like the HBO stuff, says PW, have you ever seen Deadwood? It's awesome. I haven't seen Deadwood. I do like the HBO stuff. But I kind of flick and change all the time. I don't know what I'm going to get into next because I'm kind of finished, apart from that White House Farm. Is that what it's called? White House Farm, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Apart from that, I haven't. My wife was watching the...
Have you watched The Tunnel yet?
No, I haven't watched The Tunnel. What's she watching? The Handmaid's Tale or something it's called. A Handmaid's Tale or something. It's weird. It's basically there's only about 8 women in the world that are able to have kids, and literally everyone wants a bit of them. It's a bit mad. Let me see.
My wife's it's American Horror Story, that TV series. She's watching that on Netflix. It's oh my god, it's horrendous.
Me and my wife watch bits together, and then we kind of drift off and watch our own thing. Dylan says use code Indie for 10% off at KFC. What a bloke Indie Coyle is. Let's be honest, he's absolutely brilliant. And anyone, as I said, that takes things too seriously on Twitter, just have a little word with yourself. If you like Band of Brothers, watch The Pacific. Same people made it, says Roy. Drink with George Best or Neil Ruddock, asks Neil.
I imagine George Best would have been more of a laugh.
George Best.
Neil Ruddock's just a beck.
Yeah.
No.
Avocado just tastes like guacamole, says Barney Carr. I've never eaten avocado or guacamole, so I'll believe you on that.
I've eaten both. It's not a good experience.
Okay. Avo says Oz was a good series, Gav. Set in prison, different story each week. Yes, I did hear about that, and I did hear it was quite good. There's a new one coming on Sky, says Kevin Sullivan. The Gangs of London. It looks good. Anybody see the tweet from Everton earlier?
Yes.
Amazing, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it's very Man City as well.
I loved. If anyone that hasn't seen it, go on to our timeline. We retweeted earlier on today. So it's basically a Valentine's Day thing. It's like a video being shot of the skyline of Liverpool, and it says, roses are red, the liveaboards are blue.
We love Richarlison.
We love Richarlison. Prue, or something like that. And it's basically, it looks like a gif of Richarlison dancing, but they've tried to put him in the place of the liveaboards, and it's worked out very, very badly. But it's absolutely brilliant. And the first response I seen to it, somebody put it on Twitter, and the first response I seen to it was from an Everton fan and went, "Isn't it great to see that the people in the office at Everton are on acid on St. Valentine's Day?" And I just thought, that is it. It's amazing. Like, they genuinely come across. Anybody, let me know if anyone's seen it. It's absolutely brilliant. Dylan says 99 or a screwball. Do you know
Screwball?
Yeah, you're going with a screwball.
I like a screwball, yeah.
I like a 99, but it has to have the green gear, the red gear, the hundreds and thousands, and nuts.
What about the sherbet?
No. Just
come on, live a little bit.
No. The red and green gear and the hundreds and thousands and the nuts and the flake will do me. Let me see. Finally, says Maverick, we get to discuss avocados. Walk away. I don't know what they are. I don't eat them. All I do know is that some of my mates, particularly when we go to Liverpool for some reason, end up in a cafe called, can't remember the name of it, and they go in there and they get eggs Benedict and they comes with avocado, and I'd be like, don't know what that is, lads, and I just find the nearest pub. So there you go. Roy Speakman says, looks like a rabid pigeon. I presume that's the Richarlison thing from earlier. It was outstanding work, like, absolutely outstanding work. But I don't know where they come up with these. Not even that they come up with these ideas. It's somebody gives it the go ahead and says, yeah, that looks amazing. Stick that out there. Barry Carr says Iron Brew or Lucasade.
Ooh.
Lucasade orange if I can have it.
Yeah, probably just Lucasade. The Lucasade apple's nice.
I love the Lucasade orange. Love it. Especially freezing cold. I love it. Avo says, I have to read ahead there. Oh, yeah. Roses are red, violets are blue, City are cheats, and the cheats are out until 22. That doesn't really roll off the tongue, but I know where I tried to go with it.
I think it's also says that we're clear by 22.
Yeah.
I think that works a bit better.
A little bit better, Avo. You might need to reduce a few of the syllables there. Let me see. Barry Carr says, an egg and poaching, like as in the fucking massive, the drink with the huge alcohol content in a poaching. Is that what we're going with? Maverick wants Lucasade. Dylan says He's noticed that the ice cream man that comes around his way is getting wild now. He's doing cool pops. He's doing bottles of Coke, etc., popping candy, ecstasy. I have to say, the ice cream man that was around their way had everything from when I was a kid. Like, I mean, the fucking lot. The van was packed.
Before I moved house, probably about 2 years ago, the ice cream man by us, bread, milk, fags. You know, it's just like a walking corner shop.
Cigarettes.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
I don't think he was supposed to be. He seemed to stop doing that very quickly.
Yeah.
You'd have loved him.
Yeah. Like, no, the cigarettes thing really caught my attention. I do. There was a shop near us that sold single cigarettes. You know, like a loose, as they called it. They called it a loose, so you could just go down and buy one cigarette from them, which was handy when you were 14 and you hadn't got a regular income. Let me see. Dylan hates people that have nicknames longer than their actual name. You'll have to hit me with one. DK says, has Trev announced his return for the title-winning podcast? There's loads going on about this title-winning podcast. There's loads of ideas going around about it.
Is this you getting all the originals together?
Yes, but the thing is, right, what's going to happen, or what we're going to try and make happen, and let me put this to bed now, right? When we get a chance to win this league, say it's, for argument's sake, it's Bournemouth on the Saturday, we will do something on the Monday like we always do, but we will try to get as many contributors from past and present in the same room for a megapod. It could go on. We could be there for 4 hours, and then we'll have to edit it down a little bit, or we might just put the 4 hours of it out. We don't know, but it won't be just those lads that were here years ago. It will be everyone that's contributed in any way to this podcast over the last 7, 8, 9 years. It's gone. No, 7 years. It's gone, and that's what's going to happen. My idea was to basically book out a room somewhere, a function room, and basically invite everyone that's been a contributor on the podcast, whether that's fucking over Skype or whether that's been in person, plus people that regularly listen and could make it that night to come along. That would be my idea. That's what we're trying to work on, but we'll have to wait and see, because it's extremely hard to plan when you don't know what game you're going to do it on. So it's just one of those. Dylan has come back with Mark, nickname Whacker. Well, Whacker is usually a nickname for Patrick, believe it or not. So there you go. A-team or Baywatch, asked Lubeck.
18.
18. 18. Definitely the 18. Definitely the 18. Let me see. Kevin O'Sullivan says, the mobile shop van used to come on Air Estate in Bristol. Had the lot, including farmhouse cider. Jesus.
Oh, man.
Brilliant, man.
I need to go move there.
Yeah. Let me see. Tell you one thing I'm a fiend for is salt. He has it on everything. Fish fingers, loads of salt on a bagel. Banging. He loves it. DK says 4 hours will just be Grizz talking. Could be. But there's a lot of people in it from our podcast that can't talk. But that would be my idea. Everyone could get together, and listeners that could be in Dublin that night and could meet us by all means. It's basically just going to be a piss up, really. I think that's it. I think we leave it at that. We're an hour and 4 minutes in, and we've taken up enough of people's Valentine's night. Chris, anything else before we go?
Big shout out to the women. They were very lucky last night. Lost 3-2 to the last year's champions. But played really well. You know, players good at the end. We played at Chester because Prenton Park's a no-go at the moment. And to be fair, it was a nice setup at Chester. Smaller ground, but actually it was quite good. But two of the Arsenal players I just need to give a shout out to. One is their striker, Vivian, I think it's Medema. I'm sorry if I've pronounced that wrong. I know it's Dutch. Who very kindly, my daughter was waiting for photos with the Liverpool players, said hello to her and gave her a pair of matchday boots. And I've since found out that this Dutch girl is like the Van Persie of women's football. So I was like, oh, so that's quite good. And the other big shout out is to the England winger, Beth Mead, who sadly, in a 50-50 challenge, fair challenge, it was it's a foul, it was nothing sinister, but poor girl does like she's done some real damage to her knee. So fingers crossed, it's not as serious as it looks, but the poor girl, it did look quite serious. But from an England women's point of view, she is probably one of the most exciting wingers England have got. Okay. So, but onwards and upwards. I think we've got Chelsea in the cup on Monday.
Okay. Well, look, if they continue performing like they did yesterday, although the result wasn't the best, if they keep putting in that sort of performance, the results will start to come. Leoback says, great stream, lads. He also says good night to Avo, who said good night to us. Dylan says, second last game of the season, Chelsea at home. But we're talking about doing this pod literally the day after we win the league. So we'll have to wait and see. Right, that's it. I have nothing else before we go. I'll put it to you that way. That's been the Fatback 4 Daily for Friday night. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been really enjoyable for us. As I said before, go on, set yourself up a Discord profile. Go on to our Twitter. Click on the pinned tweet. You will see the invite there to Discord. Come in, chat with us all day, every day about anything you want. There's loads of different threads there for people to get in and loads of different subjects. But most importantly, between now and say probably kickoff's 5:30 tomorrow, isn't it? So
Yeah.
Between now and probably 4:30 tomorrow afternoon, get in there, get onto the Paddy Power section, put in your bet for tomorrow. I'll get them all priced up, and I will pick 3 that I want to use for the charity bets. That's been it. We will be back on Sunday night as promised. Thanks a million for listening. Over and out.